Dominic Miller, Environmental Health Manager. I'm here today to provide a little information, some updates on our mosquito control program. So I think first and foremost, need to emphasize that the mosquito control program is a public health program. The program exists to protect the citizens of Sioux Falls from those mosquitoes, West Nile virus in particular, mosquitoes that can carry that virus. So that I think the emphasis needs to be started right away that it's truly a public health program. Obviously, we understand that there's mosquitoes that if there's too many of them, it can impact our quality of life as well. But I just really want to emphasize that first and foremost, that it's truly a public health program. The program actually started in 2003 because there was a large number of people that were inflicted with West Nile virus. They actually were bitten by a mosquito that carried West Nile, and they became sick because of it. So at that time in 2003, the city of Sioux Falls looked at that and looked at the number of West Nile cases throughout the state and decided to start the program. So we talked a little bit about emphasize the public health aspect of it, but we also understand that South Dakota has short summers and people want to get out and they want to get out to the ball fields and the Levitt events and the utilizing the bike trail, things of that nature. So there's a quality of life aspect to it as well. And the mosquito control program, obviously we're not focusing just on those mosquitoes that can carry West Nile. It's every mosquito. They're not our friend. So let's talk a little bit about the spraying. If anybody thinks about mosquito control program, probably the main thing that they're going to think about, likely the only thing that they're going to think about, is the spraying, the spray trucks. It's the most glamorous part of it, unless you're one of the applicators that has to be out till 1 a.m. Doing the sprays, but it's what everybody is aware of, right, with the spray and the spray trucks. So how does that work? The city of Sioux Falls is broken up into 18 different zones. We have at least one trap in each one of those zones, and the traps are turned on Monday morning, and then they're run Tuesday through Friday. The contents of the trap are brought back to the lab each day, frozen, and then the following day, our lab personnel will take the contents of the trap out of the freezer. They will literally count every single mosquito in that trap, and they will also identify down to genus and species which each mosquito is. Based on the total number of mosquitoes, based on the number of mosquitoes that we specifically know have the potential to carry West Nile, that's what we use to decide whether a spray is needed or not. And throughout the summer, we're going to work to spray the recreational trail at least once a week. So I think it's important to note the amount of resources, the amount of time that our staff uses in the day-to-day. So the spray trucks, right, they're out from 8:30, 9 o'clock at night till midnight, 1-ish, something in there. So think like 9 to 1. But during the day, the team is out from 8 to 4:30 every single day, and they're looking for sources that are potential breeding grounds for mosquitoes. And they're seeking those areas out. They're treating those areas. That's what they're doing. The bulk of their work is looking for those areas where their mosquito breeding starts. If we can eliminate the mosquito before it's an adult and flying around and potentially causing people to get sick and certainly impacting our quality of life, that's a better program. That's what we want. That's where we put most of our focus on. That's what the team is doing for the bulk of their days. So I'd like to talk a little bit about our staff. Completely run by seasonal city employees, around 20 of them this year. It's pretty typical to have about 20 part-time staff. We have, out of the 20, we probably have about 10 of them or so that are returning staff members. Some of them have been with us, a couple of them have been with us almost 15 years now. So we also have a lot of college students, some teachers that are helping us out with their summers off, and we have some retired folks as well. It's a nice mix. By all accounts, everybody is getting along very well this year. They're having fun with it. That's important. But they also, they understand their role in this. They understand that this is a very important program for the city of Sioux Falls. They take it serious. They have fun with it. But they understand what their role is to help the city of Sioux Falls. And I just want to take a minute to just thank them for all their hard work. The program doesn't exist without them, and I really appreciate all the efforts that they're putting in for us this year. So thank each and every one of those. So we've talked a little bit about some of the spraying efforts and some of the surveillance, looking for areas where mosquitoes can breed, some of the treatments and stuff. The mosquito control program follows, it's basically called an integrated pest management plan. And there's 4 aspects of any good integrated pest management plan. One of the things we haven't touched on yet is the education part of it. So you'll probably see some of the staff out and about this summer at some of the Levitt concerts and McKinnon Park, some special events, hydrant parties, things of that nature. And what they'll be doing is they'll be handing out some information on the mosquito control program, mosquitoes in general, what you can do to help and protect yourself from mosquitoes. They'll be handing out some DEET packets, just talking about the importance of using mosquito repellent, wearing some long sleeve shirts and pants and things, especially around the times of the day where mosquitoes are most active, early morning and sunset. The seasonal outlook, I talked to the staff a little bit, especially some of them that have been around for quite a few years, asked them how this year is comparing. They're seeing about what they expected with the amount of moisture that we've had this year. It's tracking very closely to what they've seen in the past. Actually talking to them today, I was out at the mosquito control barn this morning and talking to the lab. Asked them how the counts were this morning from last night's trapping, and they said that they were actually down a little bit. So that's important to note because it shows that our efforts are working, right? I mean, it's obviously the spraying part is working, but it's really that day work that they're doing from 8 to 4:30 that they're out treating those areas where mosquitoes are breeding and eliminating them before they become adults. So that was good to hear. West Nile virus outlook. My understanding is that we have not had, the state kind of keeps track of all that stuff. They share that information with us. My understanding is that we have not had any people that have come down with West Nile virus yet, not that I've heard of anyway. So I should talk a little bit about how, I mentioned that the mosquitoes are counted and then how they're separated. So the nuisance mosquitoes are separated from those mosquitoes that can carry West Nile, and then those mosquitoes that can carry the West Nile virus, they're tested, I should say, and to see if they actually are carrying the virus. And so far, so good on that. We haven't had any positive tests on West Nile for any of our testing. So we'd encourage you to follow the Sioux Falls Health Department on our social media for updates. And also, I would encourage people, if they're interested in when the spray trucks are going to be out, which zones are going to be in, which nights are going to be out and about, that if they would text SPRAY, S-P-R-A-Y, text SPRAY to 888-777, and then you'll be receiving those text message alerts on when the spray trucks will be out. Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Vanessa and her team, for inviting us out here today. Be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
You touched a little bit on this, but what we're tracking in terms of precipitation, we've had probably, I think we're 3 inches above normal.
Okay.
So, I mean, are you seeing more because of, I mean, you said overall they're less. Is that just accounting for this type of season, or is it less even accounting for like dry seasons, I guess, if you know what I'm getting at? Yeah,
so I think, at the beginning when the trapping started, it ramped up pretty quick, and they kind of expected to see that with a lot of the moisture. But again, this morning when I was in the lab talking to our lab personnel, I thought that was an interesting thing to share with everybody today, that their numbers that they were seeing from last night are actually down a little bit. So again, that shows that the program is working as it should.
All right, thank you all for coming this morning.